So this past week, and as I was pondering this today, it started getting hard for me to remember that it's only been a week. Has been the hardest week physically for me in my entire life. Um, it was as though a switch was flipped on. And I went from being somebody who walks around with cancer in their body to being a full-on cancer patient and having all of the symptoms of cancer. And primarily starting last Saturday with ending up in the ER with uncontrollable pain. And it's just been exceedingly difficult from there. So you name the thing you think about cancer patients having. Can't eat, get full too fast, can't swallow well, um, pain, round the clock pain meds. This has been my life that just flipped on its head. So much so that I reached out to Deanna, our friend who's often here with us, who works in palliative care, and asked her to get me in to see them. Now, for those of you who don't totally know, palliative care doesn't mean that you're at the end of your rope. It means that you're having a lot of symptoms that you need help with. And so they got me in right away, which was wonderful. And they're great because they ask you questions about your symptoms. They ask you to rate them. What's your pain? What's your appetite like? How are you sleeping? How are you pooping? One of the biggies, actually. And as they go through the list, eventually they come to how much depression are you having from a scale of 0 to 10? 0. So my pain's 6 to 8. I can't eat. I'm having trouble swallowing. 0 depression. And those of you who know me know that I just don't go, oh, 0. You know that I check in here. Let's see. Huh. Well, no depression. How bad anxiety? Nope. No anxiety. I'm having all these physical feelings, all this stuff that's happening to me, but somehow I'm not getting ungrounded. I'm not losing my center, my deepest beliefs, what's really real. And pain is real, but what's beneath that, what's more than that. And so the thing that I've been actually considering, thinking about, no, how can that be true? How can that be my story? How could our lives have turned this radically in 1 week and I haven't lost my center? And there could be, I suppose, many, many answers to that. And there are two very, very, very big answers to that. The first answer I'll illustrate with a story. A person was over visiting me this week and said, so how are you doing with all of this? How do you manage this? It really truly is moment to moment. What's true about me one moment is not true the next moment. Pain is fine 1 minute, completely out of control the next minute. I said, well, I have this practice called surrendered presence, so that it allows me to be in the moment, just here and now, And then I can let go in that moment. I can also just let things flow in and flow out again. I don't launch into the future about what all of this means or am I going to live like this for the rest of my life? I can actually be here. And just the best language I have for it is my feet just never come out from under me. I just never, it's not like being on the ice and your feet just go out from under you and bam, you crash on the ice. Every moment this week, I can look around and I can feel this thing under me. And I can't even really begin to talk about what that thing is under me or how powerfully I trust it. We have words for it that I could bandy about or use here. But whatever it is, it's got me. It's holding me, and I trust it. And in that holding, I don't have fear. I'm not afraid. And that doesn't mean I don't hurt. So make it really, really clear. There have been times in my life, many, when I could really idealize this spiritual thing or expect that if I did it all right, I would feel good all the time. So they can live together fully. I hurt, I suffer, I'm in discomfort, and I'm held. So the practice lets me know that I'm held, and the practice prepared me for this moment. The other thing is community. I am absolutely sure, I am never alone. You all may not be in my presence. You all may not be able to touch me, hold me, cook for me, run errands for me. I never feel alone. I have this community because I built this community. And I don't mean that I've done all of them. I built this community by sharing myself and inviting other people to share themselves, and they respond to me, and we become community together. It's not something that I do, it's something we do, community. And out of that community grows great love, great connection. And I believe in some other dimension that you all are holding me on and with me in. I trust it completely. So we have to have our communities. And this one on Sunday nights is not enough. Some of us are in TLC together, another circle. My opinion is that's still not enough. Mark and I go to a church. My church I adore it, and it's imperfect in many ways. But I go there with my heart open, and people arrive with their hearts open, and we try to show up for each other. And that's all it's about. So I say all of this to say that we all know how many people are struggling right now. How many people are in great fear, great anxiety, anger, outrage, pain. Not knowing is one of the biggies. Not knowing what the future holds is one of the biggies. And lots of people's feet and their bottoms dropped out. The floor has dropped out of their world. And the only way to get our feet back under us is to know what our feet are grounded in. And we cannot know that thing that I trust so much without these bodies, these beings around us that emanate that love as well. We have to have places where we are the ones that begin with opening our hearts. I'll give a really, really tiny hint here. And granted, I'm the queen of vulnerability these days, and I don't expect anybody else to be this way. But when I went to my church, and I hadn't been to church in a while, it was actually a friend of ours invited us. Mark wanted to go. I'm like, I guess, okay, I'll go. I decided they were my family. I decided I was going to be completely open with them and let them know everything that was going on with me. I didn't wait for Mark to ask for a prayer request or say, here's what's going on with Beck. I told them what's going on with me. And I just believe that the shift in me being open, interested, loving, feeling their stuff and letting them feel mine changes everything. So if we're finding our feet going out from under us, that's not a surprise. That's normal. What I'm experiencing is abnormal. I did not expect this. I am shocked as all get out. That's normal when our feet go out from under us. But if it is going out from under us, there are things we need to do. We need to practice more. We need to find our way back into love and soul. And the other thing is if we're finding our feet going out from under us, we don't have enough support. That might be the harder one for everybody to hear. And then that will require us either ask for support or find support. So in that regard, let's practice together. So we fully acknowledge the presence of love here with us. And I invite us to take a breath in here together. And as we let it out, to let ourselves drop down into this moment now. And taking another breath in and letting it out. Feeling yourself drop into love. Just like a raindrop drops into the ocean. Then I invite you to drop in fully to your own experience. And that means just to notice whatever is happening for you in this moment. That can be the tiniest little thing, like my feet are cold. It can be the biggest thing in the world, like my heart is breaking open. All that matters is that it's something that's happening to you now. And that as you notice that, to name it silently to yourself. And as you notice one experience, naming it, moving on to the next experience, what do you notice now? So this is a very simple but very, very powerful practice to name what we are experiencing now. This is our first step into presence. Doing this automatically places us in the here and now. We need that first step to really begin to come into presence. And we deepen that presence powerfully by paying deep attention to our bodies. So, noticing and experiencing fully your feet, and your lower legs, your knees, and your upper legs, your hips, and your pelvis. Noticing deeply your belly, all the organs of your belly. Noticing your chest, and your own beating heart. Noticing your shoulders, your arms, and your hands. And noticing your low back, starting down at the tailbone. Just letting your awareness flow up the spine to include all the muscles, the ribs, noticing your scapula, your neck, noticing your scalp and your head. And then letting your awareness gently rest on your face. And feeling yourself, your whole physical being, as one whole here now. This is your physical presence. It's an amazing wonder to be able to feel our whole physical self in this moment. We almost never ever do it. See if deep gratitude might arise for your body. Feel the way it holds you, takes care of you. Remaining deeply grounded in your physical being, begin to notice those more ethereal parts of ourselves. And we'll start with our emotional center, the heart. And just noticing your own heart. And then allowing or imagining and allowing love to flow freely into your heart. And just seeing what you notice. See if you have any expectations. If you think your heart should be a certain way. And see if you can let go of those and simply observe what happens when love comes freely into contact with your heart. And then seeing if you can get a sense of your spiritual being. And I feel like it helps people when I talk about the sense of our aliveness or the energy that's in us, the flow. See if you can feel into yourself and become aware of that part of yourself. It's become kind of a fun experiment for me to see what happens in that part of myself when it commingles powerfully with love. When I powerfully invite love to interact in my spirit, not my heart, but my spirit. See what you notice. And then drawing your attention to your mind. And first of all, simply noticing your mind without judgment, without expectation. It doesn't need to be quiet. It doesn't need to be thinking a certain thing. Just see what's there. And then let love flow in. And then noticing yourself as a whole, being, recognizing all these parts of yourself, body, heart, spirit, mind. You can sense all of them separately if you pay enough attention. And then feel the oneness, the wholeness of you. Now feeling that wholeness of you powerfully drawn into the earth and held here by the force of gravity. None of us here doubt gravity. We trust it. We have learned to trust it. But then when I speak about it and draw our awareness to it, we can give ourselves over to that trust and we can let our bodies relax. Oh, we know we're going to be held in place, even if we let go in our physical body, even if we relax. And then taking that next step to letting love powerfully hold our whole being. Love hold our hearts, our minds. And then very gently noticing the breath, this perfectly natural flow. The breath coming in, going out. Receiving, releasing. Allow yourself to receive not just breath, but whatever is here. Not holding anything at bay. Bad feelings, good feelings. Letting it come and letting it go. And in that repeated practice of letting go, we find ourselves coming to rest. Come to rest in a complete surrender. Place of simple being. It's not complicated. Simple being in love. So I talked about community and our need for community. We need our friends. We need the people that we exchange information with. The community I'm talking about is the beloved community. It's the community in which we can commit ourselves to something beyond us. It doesn't need to be a religion. It might be an ideal. It might be a mission. But within that community, if we really truly want to connect, we have to bring our full selves forward, allowing ourselves to be seen, allowing ourselves to be known, allowing ourselves to be loved. Thank you so much for practicing with me and supporting my own practice. Love you all.